Today I'm entering Kuala Lumpur's Chinatown. I've been told it's pretty big. It's going to take me about a half an hour to walk through. It might take me 2 videos. So I'm at the front entrance right now, and hopefully the place won't be too crowded. Hopefully there won't be any pickpockets around trying to steal my smartphone or whatever. There's the skyline, here's the traffic, and I'm having to walk around people because I imagine the place is very crowded. So, Chinatown right here, the front entrance. I'm doing the city tour, the nightly city tour. This is the first part of it. So, here we go. Chinatown.
What is sir?
Hi.
Have a look.
I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of street vendors here trying to cajole me into buying their stuff. And some people wanting to be in the video and so forth. I'm used to it by now. Everybody wants to feel important. It's Chinese New Year, by the way. They call it Tet in Vietnam. For whatever reason, I don't know why they decided to call it Tet in Vietnam. It's pretty much the same thing as Chinese New Year. That's exactly what it is, but Vietnam hates China, so I suspect that's their way of trying to whitewash it and trying to spruce it up to make it sound more Vietnamese and less Chinese because of their history. So I do like Kuala Lumpur. I like it a lot, though. To me, it's a hidden gem. It's a place that tends to get overlooked in Southeast Asia because when people travel over to this part of the world, generally speaking, they want to go somewhere like Thailand, or they want to go to Hong Kong, or sometimes they want to go to the Philippines, Australia. So this place tends to get overlooked. Singapore is another one of them. So yes, Kuala Lumpur many times tends to get overlooked because of those other places. So I'm gonna go to my right first, then I'll go back around the other way. The food here is fantastic, by the way. I'm not just talking about the Indian food here. I've not tried the Chinese yet, but there is a plethora of Middle Eastern food. And of course, I've had Iranian, Moroccan food, and I've had Persian food since I've been here. It's incredible, and it's cheap too. Yeah. The biggest surprise to me coming here, it's not such of a surprise now, but when I landed in the airport, I thought I landed in the wrong country at first because I didn't know before I came to Malaysia, even with my background in anthropology and geography, that this is a predominantly Muslim country. It is. I was under the impression that it's a Buddhist nation, given the location in the world that it is, and its juxtaposition to Thailand, but I was mistaken. But nonetheless, I suspect most people don't know that about Malaysia because it's a different sect of Islam here. It's the peaceful kind. It's the kind that you never hear about on the media, especially on Fox News. It's the kind that actually believes in love and peace and solidarity, not jihad and world domination. This isn't Saudi Arabia or Iran or anywhere in the Middle East. Okay, that's one end. And in fact, most people I've spoken to about that here hate Saudi Arabia. They don't like those countries in the Middle East. One woman even said the Saudis actually give Islam a bad name. So, there you have it. Incredibly nice, friendly people. Maybe a little too friendly, but yes, I have not felt unsafe here at all. Not once did I feel like my safety was compromised. In fact, on the tour to Batu Caves when I went to see that giant statue of Shiva. There was a couple from Morocco who was nice enough to tell me that I could be a guest at their house anytime I go to Morocco. I don't know if they were being serious or if the guy was just joking, but that was a very generous offer of them, no doubt. That's actually something that kind of makes me eerie. Maybe that's the American in me. Maybe that's from having Asperger's and not being necessarily trusting of other people. Or maybe it's from seeing the movie Hostel. But part of me wonders if when people want to invite me to stay at their house that don't even know me, whether or not they have ulterior motives. The reason I say this is because a couple of weeks ago, I went to eat Spanish food at a Spanish restaurant. The couple who owns that, they were very friendly. They were very nice. They even told me that I could stay at a place with them in Spain if I go there. And also I expressed my interest in moving to South America later this year. And when I did, the woman told me she knows a Chilean woman. She also knows, she gave me the woman's WhatsApp information and her smartphone number, her cell phone number, and I was thinking, wow, I never expected anybody to be that forward. That's just like right out the door, because I tend to exercise more caution. I wanted to go to Chile. That's the place I'm most interested in because of all the research I did. Well, anyway, that was a big surprise. I didn't see that coming. I haven't contacted the Chilean woman yet. I probably should. It kind of reminds me of a time many years ago when I was in California and I met some French guy I'd never even seen, offered me his house to come stay in if I ever go to France, and he gave me his phone number. I thought that was weird. I was thinking, nobody in America is ever that forward. It's after seeing movies like Hostel, where you see these American tourists go to Bratislava in Slovakia, and they wind up in a torture chamber. Now, I realize that's a movie and that's entertainment, but also when you hear about all the kidnappings around the world, and you hear about people like Nicholas Berg, Mark Kilroy, and others, and the anti-American sentiment in some countries, you have to understand why I would get a little eerie. But with time, hopefully, that will subside. So, or maybe it's just not customary in American culture for people to be that magnanimous. Yes. Again, we are in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. If anybody's wondering where I am, this is Chinatown. And when I came here, I learned that about 10% of the population is of Indian descent, 22% Chinese, the rest native Malaysian. Yes. Now, as far as being the guest in strangers' houses, part of me says better safe than sorry, but the other part tells me that saves a lot of money. But in truth, We're all taking risks every day. We just don't know about it. Crossing the street is taking a risk. You're running the risk of getting run over by a car. But people don't think twice about it. Because they don't make movies or air news stories about somebody being hit by a car. It doesn't make for sensational media headlines. But hey, one thing I do like about living in this part of the world is at least I don't have to worry about turning on the 6 o'clock news and hearing about some kid going to school mowing down his classmates with an AR-15. So I imagine a lot of people are also a bit apprehensive about going to the U.S. when you hear about all the murders that happen on there and the lack of gun control. Their sentiment is justified, nonetheless. That's far more likely to happen than being kidnapped or being mutilated and having your organs sold on the black market. Hi, how's it going? Nice glasses, thanks for the offer. I also am a bit cautious because after living in Vietnam for a couple of years, I worry that they're going to try to rip me off. Plus, after being such a seasoned traveler for the past 3 years, I'm not quite inclined to buy stuff off the street where they don't have fixed prices. Because I suspect a lot of them think that I'm a Westerner, that I must be rich, and they can charge me twice as much. So anyway, that's the end of video 1. I'll move on to video 2 in a second. Stand by. Here we go.